When the victors of Plataea divided the greatest treasure hoard in Greek history, the small city of Tegea did not ask for gold. They asked for a feed trough, the bronze manger of a horse, specifically the horse of Mardonius, the Persian general who had tried to enslave Greece. Spoils, we'll see, were never just wealth, they were stories. 479 BCE. The Battle of Plataea has just ended. The Persian invasion is broken. The Spartan commander Pausanias orders every Persian object collected into one central pile: weapons, armor, gold cups, silver couches, tents, livestock, jewelry. Then he begins the distribution. A tithe, 10%, is set aside for the gods. Tegea receives Mardonius's bronze manger, a humiliating souvenir of a defeated enslaver. Athens receives Xerxes' enormous field pavilion, a portable palace belonging to the great king himself. This is not ordinary plunder. Each object is chosen to humiliate Persia and elevate a Greek city. The distribution is theater. It is memory engineering. Consider what Athens did with that pavilion. Xerxes' tent was an architectural object, a portable throne room of fabric, poles, and embroidered drapery designed to project Persian royalty wherever the king traveled. Decades later, when Pericles builds Athens' first Odeon, a covered hall for musical performance, its architects copied the tent's silhouette directly into stone, peaked roof, forest of interior columns echoing the tent poles. The shape of the great king's pavilion, frozen in marble, on the south slope of the Acropolis. Every Persian merchant or ambassador who visited Athens walked past a permanent stone replica of their own king's tent, a trophy made architectural. Now the tithe to the gods. The allied Greeks take their 10% of captured Persian armor, helmets, breastplates, weapons, and melt it down. The molten bronze is cast into 3 enormous serpents, intertwined, rising 18 feet from a single base. On top sits a golden tripod, the classic offering bowl of Apollo. The whole monument is set at Delphi, the religious center of the Greek world, and around its coils an inscription. These fall for Greece, followed by a list, 31 city names: Sparta first, then Athens, then Corinth, Tegea, Megara, and so on down the column. Persian armor, melted into a Greek god's offering, inscribed with exactly who deserved credit. Metallurgy, theology, and politics fused into a single object. Why 31 names and not 30? The last name is Tenos, a tiny Aegean island most Greeks would struggle to find on a map. On the eve of Salamis, Tenos had been forcibly conscripted into Xerxes' fleet. One of its triremes, a 3-banked Greek warship, slipped out of the Persian formation under cover of moonlight, rowed across the strait, and surrendered to the Greek line. Its captain reported the exact disposition of the Persian fleet. Hours later, the Greeks attacked, knowing precisely where every enemy ship sat. Tenos defected. Tenos became the 31st name carved into the bronze beside Sparta and Athens. Memory, the column says, rewards the brave defector. Switching sides at the right moment is worth a monument. Some debts could not be paid in bronze. The Persian fleet that should have invaded Athens by sea had been smashed off Cape Artemisium, not by Greek ships, but by a sudden north wind that drove hundreds of Persian vessels onto the rocks. The Greeks decided this was not luck. It was Boreas, the personified north wind, intervening on their behalf. Athens granted him a state cult and built him a shrine on the river Ilissos. A weather event was upgraded into a god. This is not superstition, it is civic accounting. When a foe saves your city, you owe a formal acknowledgement the same way you owe credit to a human ally. The second new god is stranger. Before Marathon, Athens sent the runner Phidippides to beg Sparta for help. He covered roughly 140 miles in 2 days, crossing the mountain passes of Arcadia. On one pass, he later reported the god Pan stopped him. Pan, horned, goat-legged, a god of wild places, made a bargain. Honor me in Athens, and I will help you at Marathon. The Athenians believed he kept his word. Pan's name comes from the Greek word for all or everything. His weapon was to flood an entire crowd with irrational, contagious fear that scattered them in every direction. We still use the word today. Panic. The Athenians believed Pan's panic struck the Persian line and broke it. Step back and notice what these Greeks have built. A trough at Tegea, a tent translated into a music hall at Athens, a bronze column of serpents at Delphi, a wind shrine on the Ilissos, a grotto for Pan on the Acropolis, an offering at Olympia. Memory has been deliberately scattered across the map. No single city owns the victory. Every monument says two things at once. We won, and we won together. The Hellenic League fell apart within a generation. The gods of Greece were eventually replaced, but the Serpent Column survived. The Emperor Constantine carried it to his new capital in the 4th century. Its broken stump still stands in Istanbul today. Victory became permanent because the Greeks made it physical.